Okay, hello. Now, I know my mic wasn't working then. Hello. Hello and welcome to Morning Brew on Politics Social with me, Graham Hughes. Sorry about my mic being muted there. One of those things, there's two ways of muting the mic, you see. You can do it on the screen or you can do it on the mic itself. And I had it on the mic and then I was... Anyway, but yes, hello everyone. Yes, I know server, I'm on it. See, this is why we shouldn't have a lag. This is why the lag is so bad. Anyway, let's start again, shall we? Hello and welcome to Morning Brew on Politics Social. I am Graham Hughes. And it is Monday, the 5th of January 2026. Welcome all to the show. Still haven't got a sound engineer. Anyone willing to work for a couple of hours each morning for 15 quid? Anyone? No? Oh, damn it. Moving on. Hello, the White House is mad, so is Trump, and no audio. The White House is fucking crazy, but that's not what we're talking about today. Before we get started, it's quite a heavy subject. I'm just going to throw in the super chat goal. Hopefully we'll have some fun and confetti in a while, but not just yet, please, because we're going to, like I say, we're going to be talking about something quite serious here. We're going to be talking about the fact that Elon Musk is basically now the king of the paedophiles. He always was kind of, revered by sexual predators around the world. Obviously, his father is famous for marrying Elon's stepsister, who Elon Musk, his father, took control of when she was 3 years old. A toddler. He raised her from when she was a toddler, and now he's got 2 children with her, which is so fucked up. I can't even begin to fathom oh my God. It's just horrific. So last week, Grok, which is built into X, the Twitter platform, which please, before I go on, if you are on Twitter, can you please get off it? Please, I beg you. I don't give a fuck about how many followers you've got or how long you've been on there or the contacts that you've got. I don't give a fuck. Write to your contacts and say, hey, listen, I'm leaving. Give us your phone number. Give us your email. Please get the fuck off Twitter, okay? Because it is a toxic cesspit of paedophilia, and the guy who owns it murders babies in Africa. He literally murders babies, okay? Please get off that site. Do not give any content to that site for free. I'm doing this, right? Presenting content for you, yeah? And you're giving me some money sometimes in super chats and things, yeah? That's good. It's a good little transaction here. If I was saying, I'm not going to pay you, but can you comment? Oh, and, we'll be supporting paedophiles all over the world with your contribution. We'll be killing children all over the world with your contribution. Would you stop commenting? Because I think you fucking would. Please get off Twitter. Please don't make me beg. Please don't make me beg. I am begging. Just get off it. Just shut down your account. Get the fuck off there. It is a toxic hell site run by a murderer of babies, a guy who has the blood of over 100,000 children on his hands in the last year alone. The withdrawal of US aid from places in Africa like Kenya and Mozambique and Sudan has meant that babies have fucking died. Children have starved to death as a direct result of what Elon Musk did. You don't use Truth Social, do you? No. Like, come on, we all left bloody MySpace. I spent more time setting up my MySpace page to look boss than I ever did making my Twitter page look good or, interesting. But yeah, it is a cold day. It is a very cold day today. Mike Dix is in the chat. Hello, Mike. And so Sonic Shadow. So is David Juado over in Spain. Hello. And we've also got Mr. Tisk and Sid in there as well. If you'd like to join our friends in the chat, if we haven't pissed you off too much by going off on one about Elon Musk and his fucking platform, please. That says super chat. That's not what I wanted it to say. Why are you showing me the super chat thing? I didn't want the super chat. Why are you showing me the... I wanted the subscribe thing. I wanted to say, if you want to join the chat, you need to subscribe. There you go. There you go. Subscribe to the channel and you'll be able to join the chat. Sorry, pressing all the wrong buttons today. Oh, press that again. I tried to make it stop. Oh, it did it again. Stop it. Stop it. I'm stuck in a doom loop here. Withdrawal of US aid in the Pacific Ocean as well. Australia has to pick up the slack. Yeah. Well, the withdrawal of US aid everywhere has been a huge. I mean, it's one of the most abominable acts of cruelty and violence so far in the 21st century, and that's saying a lot. And it's the neediest, it's the poorest, and it's the children, it's the babies who are suffering the most. But there you go. So last week, Elon Musk's Grok, which is this is the AI, so-called AI. It's a large language model, basically a fancy. I can describe this. It's a fancy text predictor, predictive text. It's fancy predictive text. That's what it is. It's not intelligent. It is artificial. It's not intelligent. It can only do in-the-box thinking. Can't think out of the box. It's not a human. Can't come up with something novel. Can't come up with anything new. All it can do is chew up the echoes of what humans have created and spit it out in something like an imitation of what's gone before. An imitation of grandeur. An imitation of a new idea. There aren't any new ideas coming out of any of these AI platforms. And I was going to talk today about the AI bubble and what it's going to look like when it finally deflates later this year. But I'm going to stick with the main story here. Thank you. Thank you, babe. Because I feel like it's really, really fucking urgent right now. Because Elon Musk is assaulting women. Millions of women all over the world right now. Right now, it's happening right now. Our government hasn't made a statement about this. I think that what the government need to do, which I'll come to later, I mean, Twitter should be banned immediately. Like, if you have a British IP address, you shouldn't be able to log on to Twitter. That's it. Full off. Until an investigation is done into these images. Because it's not just women who are having their clothes removed by Grok. It is also children. And why does this exist? To harm people. To harm people. That's the only reason. That is the only reason. So Grok has allowed users and encouraged users to edit photos of people, real life people, post on the platform. And what you can do is, please don't do this, is if you have a picture of anyone, it can be a celebrity, it can be a person that you know, maybe, or not. It can be a person that you watch on the internet. It could be a child. And you say, Grok, undress this person. And Grok will undress them or show them in a micro bikini. This is horrific. This is absolutely horrific. This is generating sexualized content of women and children without their consent. And there are documented cases, a lot of them, involving sexualized images of children, which have been created by Elon Musk's company. Elon Musk's pedo company has been creating images for pedophiles. Something that I think is illegal. I genuinely believe that is an illegal thing to do. And victims have recognized themselves immediately because their faces and bodies and the context of the pictures were all real. The only thing that wasn't real is that they had used this software to do this thing. Now, look, this has existed in other places on the internet, right? But nowhere near as mainstream as Twitter. Twitter needs to be shut down. I'm going to keep saying this throughout this show. Please, if you're on Twitter, get off it. If you have an MP, and I'm sure lots of you do, if you live in the UK, write to them today and tell them, scream at them, get this fucking filth off the fucking internet. Stop people accessing it. Because it might be your kids. It might be your relatives. It might be you that they do it to. And I've got friends who are really, really messed up over this. Really messed up. This is non-consensual sexual image abuse. It's exactly the same as, it's on a level with upskirting, which we have a law against now. You can't say, well, you know, that person was wearing underwear, so was it really a bad thing? Yes, it was. There was a law against it. And consent doesn't exist, consent doesn't just stop existing because someone has posted a picture of them fully clothed. And all these fucking men, like Musk himself, who go, I don't mind if someone puts my body in a bikini. Yeah, you're a man. Shut the fuck up. Go away. You don't get to have a say on this matter. This is for women. This is for mothers. This is for the people who have children who don't want their children to be sexually exploited on the internet because they accidentally posted a fucking photo of them with their kids on Facebook 7 years ago. And the changing clothes into sexualized imagery alters the meaning, it alters the intent and the dignity of these images. And the harm exists where whether the image is nearly nude or fully explicit. The harm is there. Victims talk about shame, fear, withdrawing from public life, that they're subject to ongoing harassment. Don't forget, fucking Facebook, right, was made by this guy called Zuckerberg, who began the whole thing by making an app that rated the hotness of women in his university, his posh, expensive university that his posh, expensive parents had enough money to send him to. And a lot of the internet was built off exploitation. And we know this. And there have been laws put in place to try and protect people from exploitation. But this is just fucking exploded. This is a mainstream platform. This is like the fucking BBC saying, hey, we're going to show pictures of your children with their clothes off on prime time. There you go. How good is that? We're going to show your 13-year-old daughter in a bikini that she wasn't wearing. And we're going to show it at prime time on the television for millions of people to see and go back and comment on. They can fucking comment on it. Fuck me. The government needs to get a grip on this immediately. Immediately. I've already written to my MP this morning. I was just going, this is fucking unacceptable. Twitter needs to be banned in this country. There needs to be a moratorium on Twitter until a proper investigation is carried out. And God, I hope this investigation takes as long as fucking Grenfell. Or no, even better, Hillsborough. Let's have a fucking inquiry for 40 fucking years. How about that? Absolutely fucking abominable. Absolutely abominable. X embedded this tool directly onto their main social platform. Users only needed to tag Grok and type in a short instruction. No specialist software, no payment, no technical knowledge was required. And the abuse scaled instantly because any kind of friction about making these kind of images was removed. And copycat behavior followed as soon as victims objected publicly. And it scaled up from a few incidents to millions in the space of just a few fucking hours. This is a full-on assault on women all over the world. And we need to do something about it. The Prime Minister should be making a fucking statement about this today and saying, right, that's it, no more Twitter. No more Twitter. If we're going to ban children from being able to access the porn, right? If we're going to make it so you got to give an age verification to get onto a porn site now. That is the law. That was the Online Harms Act that was brought in by the Tories, but obviously continue with Labour. If we're going to have that, then we have to have this. Twitter needs to be banned. And I'd really love to see if anyone in the chat can give me an argument why it shouldn't be banned immediately in this country. I mean, it should be banned all over the fucking world, but we can start here, can't we? We can start here today. If we can have an effective moratorium on onshore wind farms, which we need, I'm sure we can have a ban on some foreign fucking company that is abusing and exploiting women in this country. And where are the women and girls, people? Where's Nigel fucking Farage? Where's that cunt Tommy 10 names, eh? Where's he going? Oh, women and girls. Oh, women. You women and girls are being exploited by a foreigner from Africa right now. Right now. And you're doing nothing about it. Why? Because that foreigner is white. Oh, could you imagine if it was a Muslim running this platform? Could you imagine if it was a black man running this platform? Yeah. Just have a think about it. Just do a little mind experiment now. Imagine if Elon Musk was black. He was a black African. And his platform was allowing users to take pictures of women and girls from our country and strip them naked or near naked. This is horrific, but also utterly predictable. This is what Grok, this is what Twitter was invented for. Sorry, not Twitter, X. Not Twitter, that was invented for something else. Once Elon Musk took it over, it just became a platform for abuse. That's all it is. It is just abuse. 90% of the people on there are bots anyway, who abuse their users. It's like going into that restaurant in London we were talking about the other day where people go in and get abused by the staff are really horrible to them. That's what Twitter is these days. It's just a platform for online abuse. Nothing else. Bullying. Systematic bullying by fucking automated systems. And, experts have warned that image editing AI could be weaponized in this way against women. And, undressing and nudifier fucking tools already exist elsewhere online. And XAI, which is the company that does the AI side of Twitter and runs Grok, it was given warnings of the misuse of this before the rollout. But Elon Musk, because he's a sick, twisted little fuckbag, just laughed. He thought it was funny. He posted a picture of a fucking toaster in a bikini and go, you can put anything in a bikini these days. Woo! What a twat. What an irredeemable twat. And I tell you what we should fucking do. Invite Elon Musk to come and meet the king. His ego wouldn't be able to resist that. Go on. Elon, come here, Elon. We've got the king's got something for you. The king's come to Britain, right? As soon as he fucking lands, arrest the cunt for 18 million counts. 18 million counts of sexual abuse. Probably 80 million by now. The outcome of all this has matched the warnings precisely. This was not a surprise failure. It was a known risk, and he has done it anyway. And let's make one thing clear. Grok isn't its own thinking engine, right? X controls what Grok can and cannot generate. If anyone uses Photoshop, which uses generative AI using their Firefly platform, there's stuff that you cannot write in there. It will not let you. For a birthday card for a friend, I wanted to generate an image of him, riding a giant battle cat from He-Man, holding up the World Cup on top of a burning Old Trafford Stadium. And I could not, for the life of me, get Firefly to generate flames coming out of Old Trafford. It's just, nope, not doing that. Not even touching that with a barge pole, mate. Yeah, it violates our company policies. It's a clear violation. Fuck off. In fact, when I was getting my notes together this morning on this particular topic and put them into ChatGPT's like, I'm not talking about this. This violates my, and I've had to sort of get around it by making it a bit more vague of what I'm talking about. But when I was very specific about Elon Musk facilitating paedophiles, it was like, I'm not gonna touch this. I'm not gonna touch it with a barge pole. And when ChatGPT, which is run by Sam Altman, who's a very, very problematic figure, is going, no, not doing that. Even talking about it. What about fucking doing it? What about actually doing these online harms? Rather than talking about people doing these online harms, what about people fucking doing them? X chose to allow real person image editing. X chose not to block clothing removal prompts at the launch. X chose not to apply safeguards before releasing the feature. The platform created the conditions that made this systematic abuse of millions of women. Millions of images have been generated already. It made those images possible at scale. And any sexualized images involving minors triggers the most serious legal concerns, even uncertainty about age requires maximum caution for a platform. And image-based sexual abuse of children is illegal, regardless of AI involvement. You can't just shrug and say, well, it wasn't us, it was the AI. The AI did it. The AI made me do it. Bigger boys came. Generating such material represents a catastrophic safety failure, but I think it was purposeful. I think that, Elon Musk, I think that if you follow him and you think he's fucking a god king, right? He is the god king, whatever. I think that you're a nonce. That's it. He is the nonce's fucking champion. He is the emperor of the pedos. People who follow him are fucked up individuals. And if you meet anyone who goes on and on about how great Elon Musk is, start taking some steps back. Maybe call the police. I guarantee that guy's got fucking some horrific shit on their hard drive. I guarantee it. This is not entertainment. This is not a novelty. This is not edginess. This is sexual abuse at a scale that, outside of a war, I don't think humanity's ever fucking experienced this. I can't quite get the right words to get people to understand the gravity and the magnitude of this situation. It's fucking massive. We have one of the biggest social media platforms on the planet generating near nude pictures of real children. Fake children's bad enough, but real children causing irreparable harm, driving people to the edge and possibly over. And Musk thinks this is funny. Musk thinks this is all a big game. Ha ha ha, isn't it hilarious? Here's a toaster in a bikini. But victims have reported the abuse to the police, they've reported it to their MPs. It's been reported to the platform. X provided minimum public reassurance. XAI responded to press inquiries talking about legacy media lies. No, this is happening. This is genuinely fucking happening. We have more than enough evidence that this is actually happening. But, it was the first and foremost thing, wasn't it? The most important command of Big Brother, wasn't it? You can't believe the evidence of your own eyes and ears. Elon Musk publicly mocked the situation, laughing emojis. He put himself in a bikini. And that response signaled, indifference. They think it's funny. They think that sexual abuse is funny. They think that child sexual abuse is funny. This is the platform we're dealing with. Please get off Twitter. Please stop watching this video, right? Because you know what I'm going to say for the rest of it, right? It's a foregone conclusion. And go over to Twitter and deactivate your fucking account. Please, I beg you. Please deactivate your account. Because they don't need your content. You don't need those contacts, okay? Anyone still left on Twitter by the end of this week, I don't know. I might have to block them. Honestly, I'm not even kidding about that. I don't give a fuck what your justifications are. If you're still on there by the end of the week, you are going, yeah, well, is it that big a deal? Yes. Yes, it is that big a deal. And listen, the users did it is not a defense. Platforms remain responsible for the tools they deploy, and predictable misuse requires preventative design. Safety obligations increase when tools manipulate real people's images, and removing those guardrails does not transfer blame to users. Liability follows foreseeability and control. It's been fairly easy on what's it called? Photoshop for 30 years now. 30 fucking years, right? Richie from Aphex Twin doesn't really have massive boobs in a bikini. Obviously, that picture was photoshopped for his album back in the 90s. That's been around forever, being able to do that kind of thing. But that took a bit of specialist knowledge. That took people buying or downloading Photoshop, which is, no, it's not cheap, and being able, having the knowledge of how to do that and how to make it look, somewhat realistic. Whereas with this is just like any fucking knobhead with an anonymous account. And this is something else as well. These accounts are all anonymous that are doing this, and they're not going to be able to be tracked. You can try and get their IP addresses, but they're all probably using VPNs. How can you have a system where anyone, anywhere in the world can make a fucking Twitter account and then post a picture of a girl from school and then have Grok take her clothes off her, effectively picturing her in her underwear for the kids to then go around school and go, oh, look, here's the girl that I like. Look at this picture on my phone. Got a picture of her in a bikini, in her underwear. It's fucked. It's absolutely fucked. And free speech, fuck off, doesn't apply here. Free speech does not include the right to sexually alter another person's fucking image. Consent defines the boundary, not platform ideology. Image-based sexual abuse already sits outside protected expression. Existing law recognizes this distinction very fucking clearly. And invoking the free speech argument here grossly purposefully misrepresents the issue at hand. X and XAI and Grok, they need to disable clothing removals for sexual and sexualized image editing of real people immediately. It needs to block prompts that target identifiable individuals. It needs to implement strict age risk controls and default refusals. And it needs to enforce an instant takedown across all duplicates once reported. Like, these images need to be taken down. But it's too late now because it takes a second to download an image to your phone. That's forever there now. And they have to pay for this. X and XAI need to permanently ban users who request non-consensual sexual edits, but they're not going to. We need to force them to do this, and we need to make them pay the price. Pay the fucking price for what they have done, this vast, almost unfathomable crime that they have committed. And do you know what else? Do you know what else that Pranay from our little gang found out last night? You can't actually get it to do Melania Trump. If you try and get her in a bikini, it'll go, no, I can't do that. It's Melania Trump. True story. If it's a little 14-year-old girl from a school down the road, and an image of her, or make her look like she's wearing underwear, Grok says, yeah, that's fine. But Trump's wife, no, that's off limits, mate. That's beyond we can't do that. So obviously, they have the technology to say, oh no, they're choosing not to. What the UK government need to do is ban Twitter immediately. Just fucking ban it. I tried to start a petition about this a couple of years ago, and I got a response saying, no, we can't ban Twitter because we can't ban private companies. We can't have it. I'm like, what the fuck? A company that is making fucking harm? I would designate Twitter and Tesla and open, what's it called? The thing in the sky, Starlink, and all of Elon Musk's companies as terrorist organizations. That's what I would fucking do. And seize any assets they have in this country. Like we do with terrorists. That's what we should fucking do. We should ensure the law covers partial undressing and sexualized edits, not just full nudity, and use the Online Safety Act to compel X to prove effective risk mitigation. And if it doesn't, keep it banned. They need to ban it today. Today, they need to ban it in this country. If you're trying to access Twitter from a UK IP address, you just can't fucking do it from today. The government has the power to do this. We need to empower Ofcom. Wouldn't that be nice if Ofcom had some fucking teeth to impose serious fucking penalties for this systemic failure? I mean, this is the thing. Like, why is it if I go out and murder a bunch of people with poison gas, I get put in jail for the rest of my life, which is fair enough. But if a company does it in Bhopal in India, they get away with it. No problem. Whatever. If I cover my neighbour's house in flammable material and then set it on fire and my neighbour dies inside, I'm pretty sure I'll go to fucking jail for that. But if you're the people who built Grenfell, if you're the people who own the property, if you're the people who put the flammable cladding on the outside, if you're the company that supplied the flammable cladding, if you're the company that lied about it being flammable, yeah, you're fine. You're off the hook. Don't worry about it. You can murder as many fools as you like. It's like getting behind the fucking wheel of a car. Oh, I know this guy tried to murder hundreds of people in Liverpool, but to take their driving license away for the rest of their life, that would just be cruel. I mean, that would just be unfair. I mean, think of the things that he won't be able to do if he doesn't have a fucking car when he gets out of jail in 20 years' time. He needs to be able to drive immediately, or at least wait for a couple of years, and then he can drive, maybe. Yeah, we'll have that. And what people who haven't got enough money to buy a car, do they get a free car? Do they? Can I go to court and say, listen, I don't have a car, but I'd like one? Oh yeah, you deserve a car. Everyone deserves a car. You get a car. You get a car. Elon Musk. Investigators should determine whether Musk and XAI knowingly enabled large-scale sexual image abuse online. Right? Okay. And while that happens, Twitter should be shut down in this country. You should not be able to access it. And I hope that creates a domino effect across the EU. And India's already put in a complaint about this. So, hopefully something will be done sooner rather than later. But again, our government is so slow to respond to shit like this. It's like getting through to customer service, isn't it? Our government. It's like, you're just waiting on hold. This should have been done last week. This should have been done last week. This should have been a special press conference called by Keir Starmer, where he says, we are going to protect the women and girls, not our women and girls, the women and girls of this country by removing access to Twitter. There you go. Prosecutors should pursue criminal liability on this, especially towards Musk. If Musk steps one fucking foot in this country or a British territory around the world, maybe the Cayman Islands, then he needs to be arrested. He needs to be arrested, brought here to stand trial for the biggest case of wanton criminality and sexual abuse towards women and children in this country that has ever happened. This is off the fucking charts. And corporate fines, there is no point in putting in corporate fines. They don't fucking do anything. And if they do eventually get through, it is peanuts compared with what Facebook is earning, what OpenAI is earning, what Twitter is earning, what Oracle is earning, what Palantir is earning. It is a tiny, insignificant amount. You remember Cambridge Analytica? Remember all that? There was going to be a big fine. Yeah, they're going to get into loads of trouble. The fine was pathetic. It was peanuts, and it wasn't even paid by Facebook. It was paid out of an insurance fund. So Facebook's bottom line wasn't affected at all. This is why you don't fine these fucking companies. You lock up the ugly, twisted, sexual, sadistical, fucking arsehole bastard cunts that run these fucking platforms. You lock them up in a fucking jail cell and lead them to rot as an example, as a threat, as a warning to everyone else. This is what happens when you break millions of our laws. Well, you break one of our laws millions of times. I'm sorry, but like Elon Musk, that motherfucker should be in jail for the rest of his life. Same with Trump. Same with Planeteer guy, whatever his fucking name is. Same with JD Vance. All these fucking miserable little bastards. But they won't go to jail, will they? Because we have a two-tier justice system where if you're rich, you can get away with murder. And Elon Musk knows this. Nigel Farage knows this. He's got away with costing this country trillions of pounds through his own arrogance and fucking ego. Him and Boris Johnson, they should share a jail cell for fucking ever. We should maybe think about giving them food, but, you know. Starmer is facing a backlash from his own MPs over his intentions to develop stronger ties with the EU. Why would his own MPs not like that? They're supposed to be Labour, idiots. A wee couple of quid towards the swear jar, mate. Thank you so much, Yorin Infectinov. That is very, very kind of you for the super chat. Much appreciated. But Gray, and the prosecution against the company, not the CEOs, the company in the eyes of the law is a separate entity. Yeah, I know. That's why we need to change the law. That's why we need to change the law. Corporate manslaughter. crimes committed by these companies. And don't forget, the Labour have changed it now, so we can actually take the CEOs of these water companies to task for them dumping shed loads of shit in our waterways. Exactly, the fascist press would scream and cry. What are you talking about? If Elon Musk was black or if he was a Muslim? Yeah, they would be going fucking crazy this morning. And I'm trying to look at the front pages here, and there's not a single story that I can see about this. I don't know. There was a story yesterday in one of the newspapers, but it's not a front page news story. If Elon Musk, I tell you now, if Elon Musk was any other shade other than white, he would be being raked over the coals by the tabloids this morning. As proof of these people being awful. Yeah. The Daily Mail. No, that's not got a story. Maybe it had it yesterday, but not today. And PM faces revolt by Labour's Maduro apology. Okay, well, we'll go into the papers in a bit. Let's have a chat with you first of all. Graham, it will not be in them. No, it's not. I'm just looking through and it's not there. Deepwater Horizon, another prime example of corporate abuse. Yeah. Can we just talk about Venezuela for a moment? Again, as many people have said, Maduro is not a good guy, and I'm glad he's no longer the president of Venezuela. But it does set a really horrific precedent because China's looking at this and Russia's looking at this and go, well, they did it. Why can't we? Why can't Russia take the prime minister of Taiwan? Why can't they just kidnap him? Why can't the Russians kidnap Zelensky and get away with it? The Treaty of Westphalia was 1648. 1648. So what? 100, nearly 100, 400 fucking years. That is crazy. Or at least 380 or 370 something years. I mean, that is fucking mad, isn't it? That after all this time, like we're still like, we had this system set up where it's like you can't go into your neighbour's country and just fucking kidnap the king. And everyone went, okay, yeah, right, we'll stick to that. If you do want to depose the king, unfortunately, you've got to go in and, take over with armed means, or maybe do what the Russians do and just pay some traitorous fuckwits like Farage and Aaron Banks and Nathan Gill. Just pay him a little bit of money. Just pay him a couple of quid, and they'll do your bidding because they hate this country. They hate this country. I mean, do you know how you can tell people hate this country? It's where people go, oh, they say I'm leaving. I'm leaving this country. I hate it. Not because they feel personally threatened, which is fair enough, but because they don't like what it's become. They don't like what this country is. They don't like. Okay, well, fuck off then. I swear, if every one of those people who was like, I hate this country, I want to leave, not for reasons that they feel unsafe, okay, I'm going to make that very clear. If you feel unsafe in this country, then that's fair enough. But the people who permanently slag off this country and go on about how dangerous London is, and how shit everything is, and blah, 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 right? Go on then, fuck off. I think this country would be so much better without them. Because they're all the gobshites. They're all the bigots. They're all the homophobes, the transphobes, the racists, the misogynists. See you later. Bye. Off you pop. Fanny Squatch says, I will write to my MP today. Good. In other news, Musk had a lovely dinner with POTUS and FLOTUS. I did a full recon. It's safe for the next 3 minutes to hit the like button. My apologies. Deepwater commenter set Graham off on a tangent. That's all right. My friends, women and girls will get it. Worst boys get it too. Love that the fascists shouting that Trump should bounce Starmer next, but don't see it as undemocratic. Yeah, so Tommy 10 Names is asking for a foreign country to come and depose the rightly elected leader of this country. Well, I say rightly, but fairly elected leader of this democratic state. He wants America to come and kidnap the democratically elected leader of our state. You could argue that Maduro wasn't really democratically elected, as the last election was a bit of a fraud, to say the least. But yeah, that is so traitorous. And obviously, Tony 10 Names doesn't like this country because he spent most of his time in Spain. he can do that because he's got a fucking Irish passport. The fuck. Anyway, time to plug the earphones in. Sorry, John. Bit sweary today. The rich treat the law like champagne. They only order it when they need it. Yeah. Let's talk about the Venezuela, Vietnam. Well, I mean, this remains to be seen. Let's talk about Venezuela. Okay, so Trump has said that they're going to take over the government, which I don't think they will. I think they'll try and, have as hands off as possible. But what he's really after is after the oil, because they only pump out 1 million fucking barrels a day and need to pump out 4 million for some reason, which is going to make the price of oil go down even further and mean that countries can't make any money out of selling it, but whatever. And when it comes to Venezuela's oil infrastructure, like, it's going to take years to get that back up online to the level that Trump wants them to. And he wants American companies like ExxonMobil to go in to Venezuela. Now, at the moment, there's only one American company that is still in Venezuela, or has been in Venezuela for the last few years, last 20 years or so. And that's Gulf Oil, or Chevron, as it's known now. Right, so Chevron is there. It has a special arrangement with the government where they do a profit-sharing thing. The idea that the Venezuelan people nationalized the oil overnight is just bollocks. It didn't happen. Venezuela had some strong man called Gomez, some cunt who was in charge from 1905. So I don't know this off the top of my head. He was in charge for about 30 years. He was deposed in shot or gotten rid of, or he died in the 1930s. And while he was the leader, he gave the oil the rights to drill for oil away for a song. He gave it away for a song. And getting the rights back for Venezuela's oil was a process. It took 40 years. It was supported by politicians on the left and also on the right, because they could see that other foreign companies were coming into their country and drinking their milkshake. Stealing all their oil, effectively, as they saw it, which is, quite right. They were. And from 1976 onwards, private companies still operate in Venezuela. Like I say, Chevron is still there, but they have to do a profit-sharing deal with the government where the government gets X amount of money. It's like half of it, whatever, right? So these companies, it's not like overnight these companies didn't get anything, right? Now, these companies that were there before 1976, they sued, and there was some arbitration that came in, and they were paid like $1 billion each. I mean, that's not like the fucking oil companies need this fucking revenue. They're already horrifically rich. But here we go. Right, so that's the background of this. Now, what's happening right now is because of Trump's idiotic drill baby drill nonsense, the price of oil has just gone through the fucking floor, which is really, really bad news for Russia, which is good news for the rest of us, I guess, because they were already selling oil at a discount because to get around the sanctions, right? They can't sell it anymore. They can't sell it any cheaper because it's going to cost them more to pump it out the ground than they'll get for selling it. Yeah, that makes them a bit fucked. But when it comes to American oil companies, or even European oil companies like Royal Dutch Shell or BP, they don't want to go to Venezuela because oil is really cheap at the moment, and it's not worth the investment, the time, the energy, the security that will be needed for these mining operations, which take 10 years to come on board. Even because the oil production is right down at the moment. Getting stuff back online or drilling new wells, whatever, it takes a long fucking time. It's a huge investment. And if it's getting to the point where oil, which happened during the pandemic, by the way, where oil is actually so cheap that they are paying people to take the oil away. That happened during the pandemic because the market was flooded with oil. Supply and demand, loads of supply, not as much demand. The price goes down and down again. It actually went into negative figures during the pandemic. And that might happen again if Trump gets his wet dream of everywhere drilling everywhere all at once. And you got to go, why is he doing this? Why is his obsession with oil and drilling? Because he knows climate change is real. I know we'll go on about Trump being a fucking dickhead. Right, but he knows that climate change is real. So does Elon, what's his name? Nigel Farage. He fucking knows as well. Absolutely, he fucking knows. But you know what? Climate change is going to be great at creating refugees. What's great at keeping the fashion power? Refugees. There's a bit of a glut of oil at the moment. Yeah. So, Andy, as you say, there's a glut of oil. It's not worth these companies going to Venezuela because they don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. It's an unstable country that might fall into civil war. They don't fucking know. And even if it doesn't, there's still insurgencies. There's still militias running around. And, like I say, it costs a lot to get an oil rig back online. It also, or an oil drill operation back online, but it also, to make new ones as well. But you'd also have to pay for a fuckload of security. Because if one of these fucking militia groups turns up with an RPG, or a drone, how are you going to fucking stop them? You got hundreds of drills all over the country. How are you going to stop? There's a concerted effort using drones. All on one day, hundreds of fucking drones. You're not going to get rid of them all. How are you going to protect yourself? You need a stable country in order to be able to do this kind of thing. It's no good trying to get bloody oil out of a fucking war zone, as Russia is realizing as Ukraine keeps attacking the oil infrastructure with drones. Isn't that what happened in Venezuela? I don't know. It might not. I mean, this might all work out wonderfully well. I don't know. I don't think it will. My heart really goes out to Venezuela. It has had to put up with the most fucking horrific shit for, I say, the last 25 years, but it's even longer than that. I mean, Venezuela's never, like some other countries in Latin America, it's just never been given a fair swing, It's never been given a fair whack because it's always been held back by the interference of other countries and other countries propping up rebellions and undermining the legitimate rulers and making coups happen and, just always fucking meddling, always meddling. And that's what Russia's been doing to us for the last 20 years, by the way. Meddling in our democracy. And so few people want to talk about it. They want to go, you're talking conspiracy theories here. Well, I mean, Russia really in control? Yeah, well, they have a bit more control than you think. Why aren't we going after them? Why are we going after Russia, having millions of fucking chat bots and bot bots and bastard bots and bully bots all on the internet telling Russians, any Russian on the internet, because they had their own version of Twitter, don't they? Just tell them all that, Putin is lying to them every fucking morning and give them proof. Here's a photo. Here's a fucking photo. Oh, yes, Greenland. We need to talk about Greenland. So the wife of Stephen Miller, who is the Gollum-esque advisor to Donald Trump, she posted a picture on Saturday, right, of Greenland with the American flag overlaid over the country or the territory of Greenland, and said something like, "Oh, you're next," or something. That is really, really, really deeply concerning because that is part of Denmark. That's effectively threatening to invade Denmark. And that's when the shit will hit the fan. Shit will really hit the fan. And I don't know about you, but I don't fancy the idea of Britain's children growing up in a fucking age of war. Again. I don't mythologize war. I don't romanticize it. It's fucking horrible. It's fucking horrible. And people die horribly. And I don't want that world. I do not want to live in that world. I do not want the children of this planet to live in that world, to have to live in this world. I don't want any children to have to live in this world, in a world of war. And that is the reality of what Trump is threatening here. Because NATO will fall apart. NATO falls apart, then Russia starts invading Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, starts invading Moldova, Poland. It'll happen. Because they'll be empowered. They'll be like, well, there's no international order anymore. I can do what the fuck I like. There's no NATO anymore to keep me in check. I can do what the fuck I like. She tweeted soon. Yeah, fucking disgraceful. Fucking absolutely disgraceful. Know that the USSR support for Cuba stopped with their switch to Russia in 1989, and Cuba suffered. Know how Reagan, Bush, and rubbed their greedy hands together in the hopes of retaking a desperate Cuba, but, well, they didn't, did they? Isn't Denmark a NATO country? Wouldn't invading Greenland trigger the defense thingy? Yes. But it's never been tried with a member of NATO violating Article 5 of NATO, which is, the idea that if one country is invaded, they're all invaded. Urbane Legends, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. European leaders being weak and basically backing Americans' actions in Venezuela has handed them Greenland. That is a worry. That is a real worry right now. The EU needs to come together as a united force. I did a whole show yesterday about how Starmer can't really say much on his own. But as a united force, the EU could. If we are still members of the EU, we absolutely could as well. Just really fucking grim. Greenland is a sovereign country with its own parliament, 100% in charge of their own resources. Denmark has no say over it. Well, no, it is a territory of Denmark. It's not seen as an independent country by anyone. It doesn't have a seat on the UN. Everything has to run through Denmark to some extent. I know it does have its own devolved parliament, in the same way that Scotland has its own devolved parliament. I know the situation's a little bit different, but this idea that Trump is going to do this land grab against this block of ice that's fucking, pretty much undefended is horrific and terrifying and really needs to be called out. But where are politicians, They're all scared. They're like a fucking rabbit in headlights. Understandably, because what can you do when America fucks you? We need a plan. We need to get together with the rest of the EU leaders and, well, the EU leaders. I can't say rest of the EU anymore, can I? Thanks a lot, Farage and every fucking knobhead in this country. We need to be able to, do something about this. We need to have the discussions and go, okay, what's a clever way of fucking them over, I'm going to just head over to the papers now. I'm doing quite a shortened show today because I need to go out. Luckily, it's not too snowy here in Durham, which is really weird. Like everywhere else, it's like snow down south, but not here in Durham. Normally, Durham's like the coldest place on earth. But there you go. Reagan ruined everything. Legion Miller channel. That's absolutely correct. Reagan did absolutely ruin everything. Thatcher ruined everything in this country. Everything that's gone wrong now, it's got its roots in Thatcherism and Thatcher herself. Block of ice with lots of rare earths and mineral resources underneath it, says Ice. Yes. Greenland is an autonomous region inside Denmark, similar to Faroe Islands, also Danish or Åland, between Sweden and Finland. It's pronounced Åland, isn't it? Åland. It's Åland. Åland, which is, yeah. Do you know anyone who's been to the Faroe Islands and to Åland? I have. Faroe Islands is great. They have grass on the roofs of their buildings. It's insulation. It's cool, that. The Gammons are kicking off that Owen Cooper, star of Adolescence, has won the Critics' Choice Award in 2026, making him the youngest person to do so. Why are they kicking off? Why are they kicking off? He's a great young actor. Like, he's white. Why are they kicking off? He's a man. Well, he's a boy. He's male. Why are they kicking off? But he said meany things about, the toxic manosphere, which I was going to talk about yesterday in my Sunday sermon, but obviously Trump decided to invade Venezuela, so I talked about that instead. But, the toxic manosphere is fucking over men. It absolutely is. I'll do a whole show about this, but here's my takeaway, right, from all this, what's going on with the toxic manosphere, right? This incel culture. It is a grift made by a few men who want to make sure that an entire generation of men become so toxic that women won't touch them with the shitty stick. And they do this on purpose because they know that if these young men actually get a girlfriend, they'll stop watching the how to pick up artist bullshit. They'll stop watching the toxic manosphere stuff because they won't feel so aggrieved that women won't sleep with them. So what they try to do, and what they're doing very successfully, is making an entire generation of young men utterly repugnant and unfuckable. And then, because they know as soon as they get fucked, they will stop watching the bullshit from Andrew Tate and all these fucking gobshites on the internet. And that is a huge fucking issue. We need to point this out. We need to say, hey, they're trapping you. They're giving you bad advice how to treat women to keep you single, to keep you unfuckable, so that you never get laid. so that you keep watching their shit on the internet. Because no woman in her right mind will put up with her partner watching that shit on the internet and then acting on it and treating her like shit. Like, I know there's examples of women putting up with all kinds of fucking awful things, right? But generally speaking, right, modern women who know what they're fucking doing will not put up with that shit. They'll be like, no, I'm out of here. There are already US military bases in Greenland, so it's not about military protection, it's about Greenland's minerals. Yeah. I mean, David, in Venezuela, he made it very clear it was about, Trump made it very, very clear it was about the oil. Didn't even pretend it wasn't. So I think I made a mistake here because I did 10 super chats. So I'm just gonna stop that goal because I don't think we're gonna get that today. I know it's the beginning of the year. Everyone's fucking skint after Christmas. So I'll make it 5 super chats, any color. So I'll put that on now. Okay. So yeah, just 50p. Put 50p in the idiot if you want it. I'm gonna head over to the papers now, if you don't mind. Starmer plots a course for softer Brexit as leadership rivals circle. So Keir Starmer says the UK should move even closer to the EU single market, with starkest sign yet that he's ready to seek a radically softer Brexit deal with Brussels. Yes! Also, woohoo! We just got a super chat in. Thank you very much to SG for the super chat. Stayed away from all the news for a couple of weeks. Dipping my toe back in via your channel is the only sane way to do it. Thanks, Graham. Oh, thank you very much, SG. That is very, very, very kind of you. I really appreciate that. And unfortunately, because it takes a minute to fucking register the target, it didn't give me... I'll tell you what, if I get 4 super chats, I'll trigger my confetti, even if it doesn't trigger in the chat. But yeah, I'm glad you think this channel is sane. Anyway, our fabric and to cut and sew in order to prepare. Thanks for the show, Graham. Thanks for the chat. Oh, thanks very much for listening, Chris C. And don't forget, you can listen to this show on YouTube Music. YouTube Music. It's available as a podcast. You don't need to watch me live because you've seen this face far too much already. You just listen to my dulcet tones. The Gammons are saying he is mediocre at best, says Chris C, and that adolescence was not a true representation of night crimes in the UK. They say that part of the lad should have been played by a black boy. Yeah, I think they missed the point there, didn't they? I think they missed the point. The manosphere is kind of like opposite ends of the spectrum of turfdom. That's a really good point, Gallifreyan, man. It is, isn't it? Toxic masculinity and toxic femininity. Or toxic feminism. Yeah. Toxic crusaders. And there's a grift at both ends. Transphobia is obviously a grift by the right wing, by the oil companies funding that. And then the grift on the right is to get young men locked into this mindset that women are to be treated in disgusting ways. And women don't put up with it. Women do not put up with it. You know, if you walk up to a woman in a bar and you go, you're a fat, ugly fuck, aren't you? Do you think she's going to sleep with you? Especially if you're not an oil painting yourself. Take it from me. Like, you've got to be canny about this kind of thing. I'll make a better chat-up channel than these motherfuckers, ones that would actually work and get you a long-term partner. Something that I've had, something that I've got at the moment. Like, being me. I'm not particularly athletic. I've never been to the gym. I'm not, I'm funny. I tell jokes. I make light of situations when I possibly shouldn't. I'm capable. If stuff needs fixing, I fucking fix it. I learn how to do stuff because I want to be helpful. I want to help out. I help out around the house. I drop the kids off at school. I do the dishes. I make dinner. I help out and just sit there like fucking Al Bundy watching the fucking telly, go Peggy, I'm flushing the toilet and everyone laughs. I try. I put a bit of effort in. That's all it takes. Is a bit of effort. There's so many men out there who are like, women should just drop at my feet. I'm like, why? What have you got? You fucking minging. You got no money. It's like, what do you think? Do you think women are gonna go, oh yeah? Fucking hell. I love this minging guy who treats me like shit and has no money. He makes me feel so It makes me feel valued. You know, it doesn't happen. It doesn't fucking happen. I know people can go, oh, well, you know, I know friends who have been in toxic relationships in the past and stuff like that. But you know, by and large, if you go up to someone thinking you're going to chat them up and the first thing you do is insult them, it's going to tell you to fuck off. The first thing you should do if you want to, you know, get into someone's pants or someone's knickers is make them laugh. It's the first thing you need to do. Tell a joke. You know, make them smile. Be nice. Be a good person. You know, be caring. Be thoughtful. Stop and think. You know, this is what you need to do in order to get a relationship and maintain a healthy relationship, which is what all these motherfuckers do. They talk about the male loneliness epidemic. It's not caused by women. It's caused by Andrew Tate. He has caused the male loneliness epidemic by telling an entire generation of men to treat women like shit. No wonder they're fucking lonely. You know, the Grinch lived on his own. Well, I suppose he had his dog, Max. But, you know, generally speaking, the Grinch lived on his own. Joey and friends, right? The only friend not to hook up by the end of it. Why? Because he didn't share his fucking food. Even Ross hooked up, and he's awful. Joey now wouldn't share his food, you know? Wouldn't give a little. Wouldn't give a little. Selfish man. Selfish man. Don't be selfish. Don't be a twat. Be funny. Be yourself. Be entertaining. Be up for stuff. You know, give some excitement to people in their lives. Try. Just try. That's it. Just fuck off, Yoda. Try. Do not try. No, fucking try. You're infected enough. Thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Most gammons look like a stub toe. It's absolutely true, Yuri. Can't argue with that. Trouble with watching or listening to recording a morning brew and Graham Miller shows is you miss out on the live chat. It's true. Yeah. But for those people watching, Cavanola says, correct, Graham. The awful focus on Andrew Tateism and incel culture combined with prescription drug abuse has resulted in many good young men becoming antisocial and good women staying away. Yeah. And bad women staying, just women staying away. Andrew Tate is making an entire generation of men unfuckable. Stop it. Stop listening to him. You know, we can say that we're going to put him in jail, which we're not going to do because he's rich. We're going to say we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I'm going to get the best way to fucking defeat this motherfucker is just point out that he's making people's lives demonstrably worse. Men I know who have ended up, you know, going down that rabbit hole have lost their partners. Like, you know, the partners are going, no, fuck this. I can't be dealing with this misogynistic shit every day. Bye, I'm leaving. And find someone else, you know, someone who treats me right, someone who doesn't watch these fucking videos. Wheels Darren. Thank you very much, Wheels, for the £5 super chat. Here's a £5 for the Ginger Scouser to help things along. Beautiful. Thank you, Darren. Really appreciate that. Let's go over to the papers quickly, because I have to wrap this up soon. Trump issues warning to Venezuela's new leader. Do what's right or pay price. As President, UK will abstain if UN votes on legality of action. Great. Ousting me will be a gift for Farage, PM tells rivals. Sir Keir Starmer's warned his leadership rivals that they will hand the next election to Nigel Farage if they move against him. I would argue that they'll hand it to him if they don't move against him at some point in the next 3 years. I do think that needs to be done. Fears Starmer is plotting a full-blown Brexit betrayal. Oh, please, Starmer, do it. And there's an old lady here. She's got some flowers. Old lady has flowers. So there's a new story there for you all. Old lady has flowers. So they've decided to print copies of this on actual paper. This gets printed on actual paper. They've printed up about 500,000 sheets of this woman and this picture, and they've given it to everyone, so they all know. The woman has some flowers. Woman has flowers. That is fucking amazing. There you go. Jesse's twins agony. Singer Jessie Nelson has revealed her twin girls have a severe genetic condition. Yeah, she says they may never walk. It was really sad. Daily Mail here. PM faces revolt by Labour's Maduro apologists, which I read out before when you couldn't see what it said, but I was just like, what the fuck? Labour was tearing itself apart last night as MPs demanded the Prime Minister condemn the US attack on Venezuela. It's very difficult for them to do so for obvious reasons, which we laid out yesterday. Trump warns a big price to pay if Caracas fails to toe the line. Do you know what? It's really fucking rich, isn't it, of the Daily Mail to be saying, Maduro apologists. This is the newspaper that apologized for every fucking Nazi leader, including Hitler, in times gone past, in times gone by. Hooray for the black shirts, they said. They supported Hitler. The Daily Mail in the 1930s. Nice. Starmer plots softer course for softer breakfast. I've done that one. Why is this coming up again? That's the one at the top there. Why are you repeating? What is even going on here? Oh my God, we just got something. Plum Duff, thank you so much for the £50 mega chat. Happy New Year, Graham. Keep up the good work. You are the voice of reason. Oh, thank you. I'm trying to be the voice of reason, or at least the voice of treason, one of the two. I really appreciate that. That is awesome. And also, I'm gonna just have to jump the confetti gun because you deserve confetti for that. Thank you so much, Plum. I'm gonna release the confetti. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Plum. That is very, 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 very kind of you, and really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so back over to the Daily Telegraph here, with the bullshit of the Daily Telegraph. God, I hate this paper. Trump sets sights on Greenland. Great. Dozens of mentally ill offenders go on to kill after secret release. At least 30 dangerous mental health patients secretly freed from high security hospitals have gone on to kill in recent years. It's just a really grim statistic. I bet though, because it's ooh, got the confetti again. I'm going to turn that off. Sorry about that. I bet, because this is the Telegraph, isn't it? I bet they've massaged the numbers there. Well, not telling quite the whole story. You know what the Telegraph's like, but that does sound pretty fucking horrific. They're also talking about shoplifters being almost certain to avoid prison. They're talking about neo-Nazis recruitment drive before race war, and they're also talking about deaths to outnumber births from now on, which is true. We have got a declining birth rate in this country, which is why we need people to come from other countries to, help people out. Because back in the 1960s, it was one for every pensioner. There were like 6 working people. Now it's like 1 to 2. There's, we want to keep our pensioners alive. We're going to have to work harder, goddammit. There's pensioners who keep taking our freedoms away from us. Yeah, we need to work harder to keep them alive. I don't know if they've really thought this one through. The Daily Star there, AJ's paying for lost brothers. This is about Anthony Joshua, who was he's a boxer who's in a horrific car accident in Nigeria last week. Trump piles fresh pressure on Venezuela, the FT. Closed stores and petrol queues belie mood of defiance on streets of Caracas. Extraction takes nation into uncharted territory, talking about what's happening in Venezuela. And the Venezuela story takes over the whole front cover of the Financial Times. They don't even have the 5th column here, which usually has the 6th column, I guess, which normally has the extra news. The extra news is usually here on the right-hand side, but we're not having that today. Welcome to New York and have a nice day. Thumbs up from Venezuela's shackled president. Maduro defiant as he faces years in US jail while world debates Trump's shock assault. We are not at war, US insists as it claims control of Venezuela. So there you go. That's all the news that is unfit to print. Women like nice men, not bastards. Yeah. Do you know, the thing is that they'll always say, women love treat them mean, keep them keen. It's not true. It's absolutely not true. It's demonstrably not true, because women are just getting divorced left, right, and centre. If you treat them wrong, they've got other options. They know. They've heard the song by Tim Minchin. Tom Lehrer, Tim Minchin. Easy to mix them up. Tim Minchin, he did a song called "If I Didn't Have You, I'd Probably Have Someone Else." And a lot of the bullshit that these toxic manosphere people come out with is demonstrably damaging to the mental health of young men. It absolutely is. There's no doubt about it. We're not at war. No, neither's Putin. Yeah, that's a special military operation, isn't it? I just can't see how they can get any oil out of the situation. I don't think it's going to work out the way they think it's going to work out. And even if it did, it will make the price of oil just go through the floor, because more and more places are using less oil now overall. I know that the energy consumption is going up, but they've got this whole AI thing. I mean, this is another video, isn't it? They're only doing it so they can set up these data centers which use loads of energy. They're just basically they're trying to burn as much hydrocarbons as humanly possible in the next few years until it all runs out, because they want to create more refugees. All these tech bros have got together and gone, how can we ensure that we have this techno-feudalist society? And they've gone, the best way is to create refugees, create situations where millions of people have to leave where they live, because if they don't, they'll die. Once we have that situation, we make all these places incredibly unstable, and it allows strong men, it's always a man, leaders to take power, like your people like Farage, who is a disgusting, vile, racist motherfucker who has destroyed this country in so many ways. And we're trying to put the bits back together. And you've got the tabloids, all owned by billionaires, saying, "Oh, it's this Starmer's got to go back into the EU." Good. It's good he does that. I saw a video by Femi yesterday, and I love Femi. He's a good mate of mine, and he was talking about the fact that Starmer's saying we should get closer relations with the EU, and he's like, he's not the person to say this, because this is just like when what's his name, the previous leader of Labour. Said as soon as the referendum happened, he said, "Oh, we need to have Article 50 triggered immediately, and we need to leave the single market. We need to do all this." And then he reversed ferreted years later, and ended up losing an election. It wasn't because of Europe that they lost the election. It's just that people didn't like him, and that's a real bitter pill for people who really love him to swallow, because they can't see what other people can't see. If you like they don't understand why other people don't love him more than they love their own children, their firstborn, they can't understand that, and they never will. I mean, which is unfortunate, whatever. But at the same time, it's like, okay, so why can't Starmer move towards the EU? It's like, well, because he put his red lines down, and I'm like, yeah, but if he's gonna get rid of his red lines, just let him. Don't. Please, just let him do the thing, Don't say, "Oh, you're a hypocrite if you do that, Kia." Yeah, don't be a hypocrite. No, please, Kia, you're listening? Be a fucking hypocrite. Be as hypocritical as you like. Get us back in the EU. Thank you. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what he said yesterday. If he says today, we are going to go back into the EU, we're going to rejoin the single market, I'm like, good. Do you know what I'm not going to say? I'm not going to sit there and go, "What about your red lines, dickhead?" Just let him U-turn, let him be a hypocrite, whatever, I don't care, as long as it gets us back into the fucking EU, please, okay, please, just Graham, what if they turn the oil off? Methinks prices will explode. I wonder who profits from this. Well, yeah, this is why we need energy self-sufficiency, which I talked about quite a lot. Some women get bored by nice guys. Personal experience of this here. I don't understand it, to be honest. Yeah, because who cares about nice guys? I'm not a nice guy. Whatever. That's nothing. You need to be a bit more than a nice guy. That's the baseline. That's just being human, isn't it? It's just not being a twat. I don't think not being a twat is enough. Sorry. You need a bit more than that. But you'll find someone. Everyone does. Everyone fucking does. Just keep looking. It's if you just do me a favor, don't go up to women and go, "You're shit." That's my top advice. My dating advice. I don't think I'm gonna make millions of dollars out of it. But there you go. Don't be insulting. Be a bit thoughtful. And yeah, unfortunately, being nice isn't enough. I wish it was. That'd be great. But yeah, I think you're right when you say they equate nice with being boring. Yeah, it's something about you, Learn an instrument, learn to play I can't sing, but if I could, play the guitar, sing a song up at the balcony, serenade them. That's the word, serenade, make them laugh. My sister worked for a subsidiary of Halliburton, and when its CEO was Dick Cheney. Dick Chanley? Is that Dick Cheney or Dick Chanley? Urbane Legend, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. You're treating Starmer's EU talk like when you're a kid and you lay on the floor really quiet, and so no one realizes it's past bedtime. Yeah, just shut up. Just go. Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, like, if he wants to have closer relations with the EU, that's a good thing. Don't criticize him for that. Okay, there's loads of other things you can criticize him for, but if he's doing the right thing, just let him do it. Just keep, just push him gently towards getting him back with the EU. Please, we need to do this. And finally, Gallifreyan Ren, what's invisible? What's red and invisible? No tomatoes. Oh, what's orange and invisible? This orange. To his credit, Femi's been very consistent in focusing on undoing hard Brexit via the single market. Unlike many Labour types, he isn't constrained by a red rosette in his profile. Nick, I mean, he has been consistent, but he really, really, really hates Starmer. Like, he really hates Keir Starmer, which is something that we talked about the other day. Like, the hatred, when I was talking to Phil, like the hatred of Keir Starmer that some people have. And I don't think it's fake. I don't think it's manufactured. I think it's genuinely people fucking hate the guy. And I don't, but I never loved him. So, you know, I just go, oh, he's a politician. He's just a fucking politician, isn't he? And he could do things better. But yeah, I'm not sort of blind like, oh, we have to criticize him all the time, even when he does good. Like, you know, credit when credit's due, where credit's due, I guess. Another crap joke to add to my collection, Targrime. Don't look too hard, but the right one is out there. Yeah. And like, I think it's one of those things as well, isn't it? Like, it often happens when you least expect it, when you're not really looking. You know, I wasn't looking, but somehow I found you, as Carly Simon once sang. I'm not an expert on it by any stretch of the imagination, but pretty much everyone I went to school with has hooked up. Everyone, you know, they've settled down, got kids, got a house, you know, done all that kind of stuff, and you know, they've all got something about them, I guess. I don't know. Maybe some of them are really horrible behind closed doors. I don't know. Anyway, that's my alarm going off because I've got to go. I'm afraid. I thought I'd get the fifth super chat. So I could release the confetti cannon again, but I suppose with SG's wonderful contribution there. Sorry, Plum. Plum's wonderful contribution there. I don't really need to, do I? I don't really need to. What I can basically, I can sing, and I know far too much about the history of life on this planet. That's basically what I have going for me. And I'm far from the best singer. Well, you know, I get a few, get out to karaoke. Serenade. Never put a politician on a pedestal. Yes, Colin, couldn't agree more, mate. Couldn't agree more. I wasn't looking when I got together with my partner the last 23 years. When you take the foot off the gas. Like when I was a kid, I used to get really pissed off if I went to the crazy house and didn't pick up. And I was like, looking back now, I was like, was I fucking mad? I'll be in the crazy house in the fucking mosh pit, moshing away to Rage Against the Machine. I'll be covered in sweat. Like, why would anyone want to get off with me? And I was ginger. Anyway, Colin, thank you very much for the £2 super chat right at the end of the show. Thank you so much. That is very, very kind of you. And you know what that means, Colin? We're gonna release the confetti cannon once again. 1, 2, 3, confetti! Okay, so I'm going to be back this evening at 9 o'clock with Scott Williams for Stateside. So let the music finish. I'm going to be back tonight at 9 with Scott for Stateside. So I hope to see you there. And if not, I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 in the morning, not in the evening, for the next episode of Morning Brew. So I might talk about what I was going to talk about tomorrow. I don't know. I keep having to push things back because events, my dear, events. So thank you very much to Plum Duff for that massive mega chat and everyone else for the super chats. Really appreciate it. Thanks to everyone for being so cordial and generous in the chat as well. And thank you for watching. And until I see you next, give us a like on the way out. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.